Hello, beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a beautiful day in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border, in the crown of Maine. And I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are as well. It's sunny today, so you know what happens. If you are watching me on my YouTube channel, on my Rumble channel, the video is absolutely atrocious, but I live where the cold hurts my face, and I like the sun. It's one of the ways that I get my vitamin D on these odd days that we have this much sunshine. It's incredible. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong when you're trying to do something. It's just how the day has been. It was not a good day yesterday. There was no sun yesterday at all. There was torrential downpours and wicked wind here in the county. There was wicked wind all over New England. There was a storm brewing, and I don't think anybody in New England had a great time yesterday. We started off the day when we woke up to the rains. We turned on WPRI on our phones, because we needed to see what the weather was in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, because that's where all the friends and family live. Big shout out to everybody in Rhode Island and Massachusetts who loves me, who I love back. If I didn't get to talk to you yesterday, I did know how you were because we did the phone tree. Our family's so big. I got hundreds of cousins, and we got siblings, and we got parents, and everybody lives down there. So it's just, there's so many people that you do the phone tree and you call an elder, because the elders know everything. They will let you know how the weather is. They will let you know how the people are. They're in contact with everybody. Everybody's contact with them. So I knew who had what, who had electric, who didn't have electric, what streets were closed, what streets weren't closed, how bad the winds were, all over the place. So I knew who was safe and who was not, which leads me to, I hope you all pantry prepped. It's a big goof in my family. If you're in the family, you know. If you're not, then you don't know. I'm always screaming about having a stocked pantry for wicked weather. And yesterday was some wild and wicked weather. Like I said, we had the torrential downpours all day up here, and about 3:30, 4 o'clock, them winds came through, and they were brutal. Oh, my goodness. We were putting the barn to bed. I put the barn to bed between 3:30 and 4 o'clock every night. And I was grabbing the last squirrel, my last bunny. I have 5 Angora rabbits. If you know the story, then you know. I'm a fiber artist, so I use their wool, and I spin luxury yarn for your buying pleasure. And I had the last of the girls in my arms, and he said he had to go up on the barn roof. There was a few loose things that had to be tacked down, and I wasn't too happy because there was a lot of wind, but things had to be done. We live on a homestead. Things happen. And he said, just stay inside. So I put the girls in the cage, and maybe about 30, 40 seconds after that was done, there was a huge crack. There was a huge bang. The entire house shook. The dogs went wild. About 3 seconds after that, himself came flying through the door. As he was finishing up outside, he rounded the corner to come into the house. So he rounded the corner of the house, and the huge hemlock on the other side of the woodshed fell. It hit the woodshed, it hit the house, and it almost hit him. So that was the end of it. That was the end of our nighttime chores out there. We weren't going to do no more. We ended up also losing another tree, but that fell into the woods on the opposite end of the property. But that fell into the woods, so there wasn't much cleanup for that today. I always worry on windy, stormy days because our house is in the middle of pine trees. In 1967, the woman who owned my home, way back then, before I was born, the year my husband was born, she planted rows of pine trees to mark the boundary. And I know this because my next door neighbor, she planted them with her because they were best friends. So they planted the rows of pine trees that are the property markers for my land, and they're huge. So every storm for the last 16 years, I've sat in the house and prayed that they don't come down. And yesterday, for the first time in 16 years, we lost 2 at once. So that was not good. Also, the entire town ended up losing power. We didn't know that till later. I heard a generator going. See, what happened was I pulled my curtains over because if I can't see out, nothing's happening. So I pulled the curtains over, and because we live OG, we weren't affected. So, we had our lights on and everything was going, and all of a sudden I hear this strange noise. I look out the window, and everybody's in complete darkness. They were all starting up their generators. That was the low droning hum that I heard last night. And this morning I was on the Facebook, on the community pages where I scroll around every morning while I have my coffee, see what's going on around town, who has power, who doesn't have power. And there was a lot of people wondering if there was school today because they never got the instant text or the call from the school automated. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not get the automated call the school. If you can't get through, dress the children and make them wait for the bus. If the bus doesn't come, there is no school. That's how we did it in the old day back in the 70s and 80s when I was going to school. Sometimes there was no power, so there was no TV and there was no radio. So mom would dress us up, send us way down the end of the street with 10 or 15 other children to freeze to death in the bitter wind and in the snow, because sometimes there was snow and you had school. You had to go to school in the snow. That was way back in the old days. And 10, 15, 20 minutes later, a parent would come down and say, hey, we don't think there's school today. Go back home. And everybody would trudge back up the hill and go back home. Yes, I have those stories. Except if you lived in Foster, Gloucester, you always got it off. One tiny drop of rain, one itty bitty snowflake, and Foster, Gloucester had no school. I wanted to live in Foster, Gloucester my entire childhood because I figured you never have to go to school in Foster, Gloucester. That was the one place in Rhode Island you never had to go to school for nothing. And Salty Brian, remember those days, ladies and gentlemen, where Salty would come on and announce there will be no school in Foster, Gloucester. Lucky kids. Well, that was our evening. It was atrocious. And this morning, of course, there was cleanup. Had to clean up all the debris. Our American flag got snapped in half and flung in the woods, so we'll take care of that on Friday when we have our little bonfire. Everything seems to go wrong the week before Christmas, doesn't it? How is everybody doing with their Christmas shopping? I hope everybody has their shopping done. Ours has been done for a while. I don't fool around with that. We do less presents and more spirit of the season, so I don't do a ton of shopping. I do more going into the craft closet and deciding what crafts we're going to do on Christmas Day. What supplies do I need? Than I do intensely shopping for people at the store. So our Christmas shopping is done. Now it's the food business. But I kind of incorporate that as well into my daily routine because I cook every day. I cook every day because we are on the no sugar added lifestyle. We go out to eat once a week because we have to go the next town over. We have to go to the ag. We have to go food shopping. We have to, do all that stuff. And it takes forever. So while you're out, we can have our Dunkin' Donut coffee and we have a dinner at a restaurant, and can't control the ingredients that the restaurants use, and they use cheap ingredients and charge you a premium for it. But I like to be in control of what we eat around here, so every day I cook, and leading up to Christmas, every day I will bake something for the holiday and get the ball rolling that way. This year I think I'm doing blueberry bread, no sugar added, and we have people that don't follow the no sugar added lifestyle. So I do the traditional, the apple pie, the pumpkin pie, the chocolate pie. I make 2 of them because everybody likes the chocolate pie. And we're going to use our cheat day for the holiday as well. So it's not such a big blow where I cook all this stuff and then I can't eat it because we'll tweak our cheat day and make that Monday instead of Friday. Speaking of Friday's Winter Solstice. Is everybody ready for Winter Solstice? I live close to nature. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. There's little Easter eggs all over the place in my videos, so if you're in the know, you're in the know. I live close to the land because I am a homesteader. I live very close to nature because that's who I am. And we celebrate the winter solstice around here, and that is going to be on Friday. And a few of the things that we do on winter solstice, for those of you who don't know what winter solstice is, It is the shortest day of the year, and it is the day that we honor the sun coming back into our lives as we push through the winter season. Winter is a time to slow down, to reflect, to plan for the spring ahead. So we do a lot of cool nature things on the winter solstice. So the winter solstice is Friday. During the day on Friday, we have events planned, and then I'm going to sneak off in the later afternoon, early evening. I'm going to sneak off and have a little pampering myself. What we do on winter solstice is during the day, we go and we cut some pine boughs down and we bring them inside and we decorate with the pine boughs. We put pine cones everywhere. We just bring nature into the house and make our little windowsill decorations and put some decorations on the mantle and things of that nature. And we make the orange pomodors. I am going to put a video up on that on YouTube and on Rumble, how to make the orange pomodors. You take the orange, you stick the cloves in it, you string a ribbon through it, and you hang it by your wood stove, and you get the lovely scent of Christmas, winter solstice throughout the rest of the winter months, because the wood stove will dry your pomodoro out, and as it dries it out, you just get that lovely, spicy, citrusy, Christmassy scent. Bring in your pine boughs and make your orange pomodors, and you got it made. You got air freshener for the rest of the season. Oranges symbolize the sun. The colors orange and red, they play a huge part in our winter solstice celebrations, as we bring forth the warmth of the sun, as we bring forth the length of the days. Start in itty bitty increments. It'll be 1 minute, 1 minute later longer. So that's pretty exciting. And we bring the sun's energy back into our lives as we move forward into making our plans for spring. We got some gardening plans this year that we're really, really excited to do. Little bit different than we did last spring. So we're going to be switching some stuff up, moving some stuff around the property, and we just have bigger, better plans for this spring. Spring 2024, that's going to be our spring. We also have a little bonfire in the evening, and I like to set my solstice intentions during the day. I do a lot of journaling. It's a great energy day to do your journaling. There is a full moon on Christmas Day. I do believe it's Christmas Day. There's a full moon on, I think it is Christmas Day, it's either Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, one of the two. And I like to set my solstice intentions and prepare for the full moon that's to come. I guess there won't be another full moon, and I do believe it's on Christmas Day. There won't be another full moon on Christmas Day for like 19 more years. So that's pretty exciting. And, I'm sneaking off this year. I am making shepherd's pie as I do every year. We call it the witch's cottage pie. And before dinner, I'm going to sneak off to the spa, and I'm going to get myself a lovely vitamin C facial, and I'm going to hang out with my facialist and my friend, and we're just going to relax and have a good time and do our girl talking, and I'll be shiny as a new penny when I come back on the weekend for the holiday. So if you celebrate solstice, winter solstice, and you want to share some of your solstice traditions, say that 10 times fast, and you want to share some of your solstice traditions with me, you can drop those in the comments below the videos, either on YouTube or on Rumble. And if you are listening to me on Spotify, iHeart Radio, and now on Amazon Music, I do believe that I set up properly the comment section, what do you think about the show? And you can drop your solstice traditions in that comment box. And if you want, you can even give me a 5-star rating on the audio platforms. That helps boost me up in the algorithm, because we just started on the audio platforms a couple weeks ago. So we haven't been doing it as long over there. We've been doing it on YouTube and on Rumble for about a year. So give me 5-star rating over on the listening only platforms. It's one of those days. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow. All right, that's good.